This is a PowerPoint on the excavation at Masada by Yigal Yadin by Caitlin Justice. Yigal Yadin was chair of archaeology at Hebrews University in Jerusalem from 1963 to 1977 before Professor Yadin entered politics and became Deputy Prime Minister of Israel. He held the most distinguished chair of archaeology at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, a chair which was established in the name of his father, Professor E.L. Sulkin. An indication of the remarkable abilities of Professor Yadin can be seen in his notable military career. Without receiving any formal military training, he rose to the ranks of Israel Defense Forces to become the chief of staff when Israel became a state. All that he learned about military affairs he learned on his own through reading and by practical experience, a remarkable record consisting the fact that he retired from the army as a lieutenant general. Professor Yadin became Israel's foremost field archaeologist, having conducted extensive excavations at Hazar, Megiddo, and Masada. One of the strangest phenomenons in human history is the struggle of the Jewish people for their spiritual independence, always the few against the many, and one of the most amazing, heroic, yet tragic episodes in this struggle is no doubt the story of Masada. He was a commander against the Romans in 66 AD. He wrote the works The War of the Jews and The Antiquities of the Jews. It is only there that we have a description of what happened in Masada on the eve of Passover, 753 AD, prior to this excavation. The story of Masada was, in a way, semi-legendary because of our sole source of information was these writings of Josephus Flavius, an historical Jew. Masada is not just another archaeological site for many Jews, it is a site for the nation's martyrs. Jews at this time chose death over slavery during the First Jewish-Roman War, making Masada a symbol of Jewish pride. Pictured in this map is the physical location of Masada. Masada is located on the top of an isolated rock cliff at the western end of the Judean desert, overlooking the Dead Sea. As you can see from the arrow, Masada is right there by the Dead Sea. To the right on this slide is a breakdown of the Masada fortress. As you can see, there are numbers on this image. They signify different places within the palace. 1 is the northern palace, 2 is the water gate, 3 is the bathhouse, 4 is the storehouse, 5 is the synagogue, 6 is western palace, 7 is southern mikveh or ritual immersion pool, 8 large underground sinister, and 9 is an aqueduct. To the left is an aerial view of the actual site of Masada. The excavation at Masada was done by Yadin in 1963 when he was asked by the Archaeological Institution of Israel to lead an excavation at the site. He considered himself rather privileged because Masada is not really just another archaeological site, as I mentioned before. It is a site of mausoleum of the nation's martyrs. After some digging, it was discovered by Yadin. Our excavation proved quite clearly that the Masada of Herod was not just a fort, it was really a royal fort built by a great king. This explains the palaces found at the site. One of those palaces is the Northern Palace. This is also called the Hanging Palace. It was one of Herod's more lavish palace fortresses, and it was built on a hilltop on the north side of Masada and continues 2 levels down over the end of the cliffs. The upper terrace of the Northern Palace includes living quarters for the king and the semi-portico to provide a view of the area. A stairwell on the west side led down to the middle terrace. That was a decorative circular reception hall. The lower terrace was also for receptions and banquets. It was enclosed on all 4 sides of the portico and included a Roman bathhouse. The Northern Palace was more like a villa and used presumably for meetings, parties, rave-ups, and so on. The expedition yielded a number of important discoveries, among them a series of scroll fragments which bear a striking resemblance to the Dead Sea Scrolls. The possible significance of this similarity continues to provide the occasion for, in Professor Yadin's words, a stormy debate among scholars. Other archaeological finds at this site were the ruins atop of Masada, silver shikis, coins by zealots during the Roman-Jewish War, Sicarii sandals found at the Masada, flute columns in Herod's northern palace, the three terraces of Herod's northern palace. So the biblical connection from this is that it was the final stand between Jewish rebels and the relentless Roman army at the end of the First Jewish Revolt in 73-74 CE. Masada offers a fascinating window into the changing political landscape of the land of Israel in the first century. In this way, it enables us to understand themes and trends that we find within the New Testament. An overall summary of this PowerPoint shows that the site was excavated by Yigal Yadin. It was the site of a mass death of Jews who chose to die over being enslaved by the Romans. Found at this site was the Northern Palace, fragments of the Dead Sea Scrolls, and a myriad of other artifacts. This is connected to the Bible from its telling of the political landscape of the land of Israel in the first century and helping us understand the New Testament, as I mentioned before. Finally, this is my bibliography with all the sources I used to create this PowerPoint. Thank you for your time.